Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Benjamin Ayres for joining us today, one of the stars of the Hallmark Christmas movie, Long Lost Christmas. Thank you very much, Benjamin, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you reaching out. I'm happy to have this conversation with you.
And tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Blake's character and the movie in general that fascinates you the most and made you say yes to join Long Lost Christmas?
One of my favorite things about this, so in the book, his name is Blake, and in the movie, his name is Jake.
Oh,
So just as an FYI, the movie, his name is Jake. What I loved about this one in particular was that it was a book first, and it's not too often that we have scripts that are adapted from books. So there was a real sense of this world and backstory for all of the characters. Nancy Ayres is her name, lifted it from the page really, really well and did a wonderful adaptation into script. Michael Robinson, who directed it, I hadn't worked with before. I'd been wanting to work with him. And ultimately, Taylor Cole and I have wanted to work together for a long time. So there are many elements. It's sort of I joke that it's like the Batman signal, in that you're going about your day and then a phone call comes from Hallmark and they're like, we need you in Vancouver next week, are you up for the task? And then you kind of ask the necessary questions: who's involved, what's the script, who wrote it, who's starring in it, all these things. And then you're on a plane and we're all flying to Vancouver. So those elements out of the gate really interested me. And this one in particular was really cool because we shot in a small town called Harrison Hot Springs, which is a natural hot spring location. And we all stayed at a hotel where these beautiful spas were. And we shot, the cast and crew stayed there for 2.5 weeks. So it was a bit like summer camp, in that the experience of filming it was like our small little community out there. Was interesting because we haven't done that before. Usually the actors are in a hotel in downtown Vancouver, which is where I am now, and then we get in a bus and we shuttle for 30 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes to different locations, and then we go back at the end of the day. So this was nice because we all stayed at the same resort for the entire shoot.
yes, absolutely. Must have been really exciting for you all to be all together while shooting the movie.
Yeah, it was a different experience, and one that was quite enjoyable.
And another thing that's really beautiful and us fans love about Hallmark movies and shows is the fact that those movies and those shows always feature some well-shaped characters and relatable storylines for the audience. Is there, in your opinion, any particular feature in Jake's character that you can relate to on a personal level?
First, I'm going to ask you, Kiara, how do you guys watch them over there? What channel are they on? And
Um,
because Hallmark Channel is a very specific U.S. channel. Even in Canada, it's only been the last few
here
years.
Here in Italy, the movies are like uploaded on Prime Video after some time. They air
Okay.
on Hallmark Channel.
Now, has Long Lost Christmas premiered there yet?
I don't know, actually.
You don't know, so you haven't seen the movie yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts once you've seen it after our
Yeah.
conversation. Uh, so yeah, I'm able to relate to all of the characters I play, and I think what I loved about Jake in particular was the fact that he had to overcome some major obstacles in having uh, fallen out of a relationship, and he sort of got lost for quite some time and found himself back in the small town he grew up in, kind of on a path that he never really predicted he would be on. And the character that he really looks up to, who plays a very pivotal role in the movie, sort of becomes a father figure to him and helps him realize his passion and path. And I think that you know most people, if they are out there trying to figure out what their purpose is in life, And sometimes that can be daunting because you're unsure which path to take. And he's made some mistakes in the past, and he feels like he's finally found the direction that he wants to be on. And there's something comforting about finding one's purpose and path. And I think I was able to relate to that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And to all the fans that are looking forward to watching the movie from all over the world, or the fans in the US or Canada that haven't watched the movie yet, how would you describe Long Lost Christmas if you had just 3 words?
Ooh, uh, family means everything.
Great pick.
Yeah, it's going to make you cry in a good way. And it's as much as it is the romantic relationship between Taylor and I's character Haley and Jake. It's ultimately about uh, reminding ourselves that family is very important, and especially around the holidays, it's important that we do our best to be together. And uh, and that's kind of what this movie really highlights.
In terms of acting and portraying Jake's character, what's been for you the biggest challenge while filming this movie and portraying this character?
Um, no, that's a good question. What was the biggest challenge? I mean, I don't. The challenge on these movies really is that we don't have a lot of time when we make them. So you have to be very confident when you arrive each day that the choices you're making are the ones that are right for the story and make you as an artist happy. Because I have many times been driving home after a day disappointed in myself for maybe not being I don't want to say prepared, but maybe um, not as I don't know. It can be tricky when I guess what I'm saying is it can be very tricky when we film at the speed. So you have to arrive confident in your choices every day, and that's not just for this character. That is for any job you work on as an actor. So I'm just going to say that as far as challenges go.
Yes. And talking about the environment on set, you already mentioned that you and Taylor got along very well while doing the movie. How would you describe your experience filming Long Lost Christmas? And if you have any anecdotes to share with us.
Well, like I said, it was very interesting to get to shoot at one location like this, and all of us get to stay there. The area that we were shooting in is called Harrison Hot Springs, and they have statues all around, wooden statues of. Do you know what a Sasquatch is? Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You know who that is? Okay, so they have these statues everywhere of Bigfoot. Okay, and it's this like cute little but sort of strange thing, and it's kind of because there's a mountain close by called Sasquatch Mountain, and we actually, I think I should, I had bought Taylor. So Taylor is a big sports fan. She's a big golfer as well. We both golf a lot. Her husband was there, and on my days off, I golfed, and on her days off, we got to kind of golf together. And she bought me a shirt with a Sasquatch on it as a wrap gift. I bought her a little Sasquatch teddy bear. But there'd be days where we would go to the coffee shop, and there were men that were in full like army regalia with all sorts of tools that were there to get their coffee, but they were going out to hunt Sasquatch to see if they could find him out there, which is strange that there are people from all over the world that descend upon the small town that actually go out looking for Sasquatch. And there's that, I mean, I'll let you decide if Sasquatch exists or not, but that was a very strange element to our experience of being out there. We really just enjoyed our days off too. The funny thing, the response to the film has been very positive, and I think while we were filming it, we sort of even promoted it that it was going to be a lot funnier than it is. And there are a lot of great little comedic moments in it, but it's a much more dramatic film than either of us are used to making, even though I have made a bunch of, I guess, dramatic ones for Hallmark. But um, we really had a lot of fun on set. There was a lot of laughing and ruining of takes because we can't keep a straight face. We did. We had a good time.
Yeah, that's really beautiful to hear, considering also that that's not always the case while working on a movie. I mean, having such a great cast and feel like a family with your co-star, I think that's really important for you to also work well on.
Yeah, 100%. It really does translate. The chemistry, you can tell right away if the two characters have chemistry, and it helps if they get along and have chemistry off camera. It just makes it easier to transition to on camera, especially because a lot of us are aware of one another within the Hallmark world, but maybe we've met at a party, maybe we haven't. But to then just kind of be thrust into each other's universe for these 3 weeks, and sometimes the first or second day you're already doing one of the bigger scenes of the meet cute or the kiss or the thing, and it's like the chemistry has to be instant. So it definitely makes it easier when and it happens every time too. You'll definitely kind of try to do a couple dinners before we start shooting, or get together and go through the script and talk about what does work and what doesn't work and make adjustments if need be. And ultimately that's also just to get a sense of how the other person works, and to see if to kind of gauge what our experience is going to be like. And inevitably we all call other people, be like, what was it like to work with so and so, because I'm about to do a movie with her, that kind of stuff.
That's like a chain before starting to work together.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a really cool universe Hallmark has created, in that it's like an old school studio system, and they just kind of, oftentimes the story is very similar to another one we've done, but they pair you up with somebody else, and it's the fans really like that. The fans have their favorites, and they like to see their favorites in a Christmas movie every year.
Yeah, and that's also what we felt. It's been like almost a year that we started interviewing Hallmark actors and actresses, and that's always the feeling while talking with you all actors. Yeah, you have such a great bond with each other while working on these movies, and you created.
Yes. Yeah, we're all very fortunate and lucky, and thankful that we get to do this, and especially, like I said, within the Hallmark universe. It's nice to get to create movies that make people feel good. I mean, come on, it's amazing.
And now we're coming to the fun part of the interview.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you it's already been fun. So
that's great to hear. And now to two fun questions that we always ask to the people we're interviewing. And considering we're talking about Long Lost Christmas, it's on the Long Lost Christmas universe. If you had to choose any other character that you would have loved to play in the movie apart from Jake, which one would it be and why?
well, I mean, I want to play Haley. I mean, just, of course, why not? Why wouldn't I want to be the one who's thrust on this journey to go find her long lost family?
Yes.
I also really liked the character of that Grant Vlahovic played, and he was kind of a strong, silent type who kind of held his cards close to his chest, and took some time before he began to warm up to Haley. And I think that that was he did a really good job, and I really enjoyed watching him bring that character to life. He'd probably be that character.
Great. And now we'd like to know if you had taken anything from set to remember this experience while playing Jake.
Oh, that's
any prop or any piece of costume?
Oh yeah,
something like this.
yeah. So yeah, I'm going to show you right now. I kept I usually keep a piece of wardrobe from every movie. Okay.
Yeah.
So I kept this jacket.
Whoa.
All right, I kept that jacket. So that's one thing I usually try. I kind of like I like a keepsake from each movie.
That's
Yeah,
that's something also to remember, all these different experiences that you had in from movies.
exactly. It's my version of a tattoo, just a piece of
Yeah.
clothing that I remember it by. Yeah.
And now throwing back instead to the origins of your career as an actor, how did the passion for acting come about in your life?
I mean, I think every child, in some degree, watches movies or hears music and like, I want to do that. But I come from a very small town where I had no idea how to make that happen. That just existed outside of my reality, and I had no idea how to get there. Um, but I did high school theater. I went to university theater. I started to think that theater was going to be the path I'd go on, or maybe become a drama teacher or something like that. And then um, I just kind of met a few people that had been doing it in Vancouver, and I decided to move to Vancouver and start studying and start doing a lot of theater, and just feel very fortunate that it continues to work out, because it can be stressful, and there have been very stressful moments in the career. Um, but I feel very fortunate to kind of keep my head down and have good work ethic, and um, and to keep working.
And now, relying on this last note, if you had to give some advice to young people or people in general that wants to pursue an acting career or in entertainment in general, what kind of advice would you give them?
First, I'd ask them, uh, what makes you want to do it, and if it's to be famous, then I'd say don't do it. If it's to make lots of money, I would say don't do it. If it's because they just love telling stories, then I would tell them to make sure you get into class as soon as you can, study as much as you can, do theater, and there's the perception of watching it and being like, I want to do that, and then there's the experience of doing it. And until you've actually done it, you don't realize what the process is like. It's quite simple to watch a movie for an hour and a half or 2 hours and think that, oh, I just want to do that. But the experience of making a film, and there's it's a very small amount of time between action and cut that you're actually doing your craft. The rest of the time there's a lot of waiting around. It might not be something that you really want to do. So I think that doing it yourself and getting out there and doing theater, for me at least, was a great asset to see how much I really enjoyed it. And that's something I still want to go back to do, theater, but it's so unpredictable, film and TV. You just, like I said, you kind of audition, and then all of a sudden you got to pack up and go. My family lives in Toronto, but I got to be like, okay, next week I fly to Vancouver and I'm gone for a month. That's very hard. Um, but yeah, I would always tell them, go to class and do theater. Start there, and then give it a year and see kind of what you think. I don't think you just go out and get an agent and get photos taken. Like, you're going to get very overwhelmed and you'll be underprepared.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. It's been really a great pleasure for me to have you here and to chat with you.
Thank
And
you, Kiara. It's been nice to meet you and talk to you too.
that's all for us. Let's remind people that Long Lost Christmas premiered on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries and Movies. I don't remember the name.
Movies and mysteries. Yes.
Movies and
Yes.
Mysteries on November 19th. And it's always
Correct.
available to stream on Hallmark and
Yes.
all these channels. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck with all your upcoming projects.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.